Hey Zakaria, good to hear you got your oud fixed. That's fantastic news. Yeah, please ask away. Any questions, guys? Get them into the chat, say hello. Great to see you, Devin. Great to see you, Brian. Hey, Carol. Thank you. So guys, anything you're wondering about, please think about it, get them into the chat. That'll help get the momentum going for today. Great questions so far. So you wanted, so Zakaria, you wanted my input on taking lessons with somebody. That's a good question. I don't know Wasim in very well, but I do know that he has a lot of notation that he creates, and he's got his own website too. I don't know too much about his playing or his skills as a teacher, so I can't really say much about that. But I know he has been active in the oud scene for quite a long time, so that's good. Yeah. What specifically did you want to ask me about that? And you're in Canada as well, Zakaria? Is that correct? What's it like playing oud in Japan? Playing oud in Japan, of course, it's like playing oud anywhere else in the Western world. Not a lot of people know anything about it. But the plus is that they have instruments that are similar to the oud. So it's not something that's like, it's something of interest. And when they learn about the history of how some of their instruments like the biwa came through the Middle East as the oud and then went to China and then got imported from China into Japan, people find that pretty interesting. And also they have a taste for exotic sounds, because their own music has this kind of non-Western sound to it too. So I think it's easier for Japanese to appreciate oud music in all its forms, whether it's Turkish music, Persian music, and Arabic music. I think it's easier for them to appreciate because they're used to the sound of modality and modes, and even some of their music has very strange qualities to it. So it's right down their alley. It's just a matter of getting more exposure. Right now, I think the most popular thing in Japan is belly dance music. So people who are interested in Arabic music or Turkish music and whatnot don't really know much, don't get so much exposure to stuff that's outside of the belly dance kind of music style. So that's what they're kind of used to, and that's what they know. And so there's a lot of darbuka players, there's a lot of belly dancers here, mostly in the cities. that's to answer that question. I'm playing with a friend, doing some rehearsing with a friend who plays Rick. She's very talented, and she really picks up the music really nicely as a Japanese person, and so it's right down their alley. I think it's kind of easier for them than Western people to appreciate. All right, so next question. So Zakaria, back to your question about one-on-one Oud lessons online versus learning material like OudforGuitarists Foundation course. So that's a great question. So it really depends on your personality, like how much hand-holding you need as a learner, especially as an adult. Different people have different styles. So if you learn best with somebody guiding you, the one-on-one lessons are great because they keep you accountable. But if you can keep yourself accountable, then like online video lessons are a great way to go because they're more economical, they're cheaper, and you can go at your own pace. If you have good discipline, you can do it. But a lot of people, especially I think for someone like you who's a bare beginner, like you don't know anything about music yet, Oud is your very first instrument, then one-on-one lessons is preferable because you get better guidance, more specific guidance to your struggles, and you can get direct feedback. So for somebody who is an adult learner but is completely new to music, then one-on-one lessons is probably a little bit preferable than video lessons. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Okay, another question here. Okay, Brian is struggling with playing smooth tremolo with a melodic passage. Any tips? Okay, so this tremolo, is going to take you some years to develop. So it's just patience, really getting that and making sure you're using the right muscles. I had a video about that last week or something. You got to use the forearm muscles, right? Not the arm to do the tremolo, the forearm muscles, this waving action. And so what I recommend is when you're not practicing Oud, to actually practice doing tremolo. So when you're at your office or you're watching TV, you could hold a risha or not hold a risha, just get your arm in this position and just play on the side of your leg like this. Just do the tremolo motion and make it second nature. That's the best thing. That's what helped me the most. So you just go like this, just pretend you're playing on the side of your leg. Just get that going. That's all there is to it. The left hand will follow when it needs to. Just play through any obstacles that you find. Like if you're finding you get stuck on a passage or something like that, then just keep pushing through. Just keep trying and trying again. Take breaks when you're practicing tremolo too. Give yourself let the blood get back into your arm. These kind of things are important when you're practicing tremolo. Okay, another question. Devin, under what conditions might an oud warp? I read that luthier-built ouds are more durable and last longer. Is it true? It always depends. You never know how an instrument's going to react to the environment. So you could have a factory-built oud that really takes a beating well, and some of them are made really well, and they're kind of just lucky, pick of the litter kind of thing. Sometimes you get a lemon. Other times you get a luthier-built oud, and it's just not right for that individual. Maybe the wood just didn't turn out the way that it expected to. There's so many unknowns with wood. It's an organic thing, so you don't know. But there are some consistent things. If a luthier generally is going to have an attention to quality in most cases. So yeah, it is true. But what you want to do is you want to try to keep your environment as consistent as possible, and keep the instrument between like 40% and 60% humidity if possible. Depends on of course on the wood and how much the instrument costs, the quality of it, that kind of thing. But instrument's going to warp under many different kind of conditions. Generally, like if it gets too much humidity, the instrument might warp. If the string tension is too high, and like maybe somebody put on extra high tension strings or something like that, and keeps it in that tuning all the time and maybe doesn't play it, the instrument also needs to be played. So the more you play it, the better. It all depends. If the instrument's been traveling a lot, gone to many different countries, different environments, it might be more wear and tear on it. But if it's stayed in like 1 or 2 countries and for its entire lifetime, then it's gonna hold up a bit better, I think. So you want to avoid extreme temperatures, extreme dryness, extreme humidity. You want to have a nice balanced thing, and if you can't take care of the humidity and whatnot, keep it in its case, keep it protected. That's what I'd recommend. Yeah, so sorry, I can't read your name because it's in Greek, but you asked if that's a Ushak Taksim. It's kind of an Ushak Taksim, yeah. It's playing a lot of the rast, that jins rast that you have below the tonic of Ushak. There's the tonic, here's rast. But it goes in, it's part of Ushak, yeah. All right, another question here, just gonna check this out. Okay. I discovered a jins/maqam singing class online with Sami Abu Shumais. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Those lessons are good if you follow them. I highly recommend that you use your ear and your voice to train yourself. It's a very old school way of learning maqam, and it's very effective. Highly recommend to do that. I also have some ear training programs which are in my maqam mastery program, and also an ear training audio program. That content by Sami is really good on YouTube, so that's a good start. Yeah, some examples of what jins to best start with as a beginner. So start with your like the main jins, what they call in Arabic jins ajam. These 5 notes, C, D, E, F, G. Start with this, because we know if you can sing Happy Birthday, you can sing this. Jins Ajam is great, and then also Jins Nahawand is good. So C minor, C major. For you who know Western music, C, D, E flat, D, F, G. So these are 2 starting points that I would recommend for anyone who's wanting to use their voice to train. So you can just take this melody, listen to it, sing. Da, 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 and go backwards. Da, 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 da. So that's how you practice. Hearing and copying just as best. You don't have to be a great singer. You just have to get in the zone of each note. After you do Nahawand and Ajam, then you can go into Jins Kurd. La, 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 la. And then Jins Hijaz. La, 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 la. And that way then you'll be able to get some practice getting the tones down and aiming for those notes. And then you'll be in better shape to do the microtonal ones, which may be a bit harder to calibrate your voice to what you're hearing. The microtonal version of Jins Ajam is Jins Rast. where the E is a half flat or a quarter flat. La, 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 la. See the difference there? La, 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 la sounds very bright and very a little bit happy sounding, if you will. Maqam Ras is a bit more mellow, but still on the light side. La, 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 la. This is a great way to practice. It helps you really internalize and organically feel with your body the notes that you're singing. As you hear it, you sing it, and you feel it physically. This is one of the best ways to learn maqam because it's more visceral and it's more like a physical activity, rather than just trying to, bang out the notes on the instrument. Great to see you here, Nick, and Saeed, great to have you. All right, let's see. There's another question here. Are there any luthiers in Japan who build ouds, or is that very hard to find? Yeah, it's hard to find ouds here. I have a bunch of ouds that I've been meaning to sell to people here, but it's going to be hard to find buyers, I'm sure. But there's no one who really makes ouds for a living here. There is one individual in Tokyo area, Yokohama in particular, who makes ouds, and he's been active in making hybrid instruments based like between Japanese instruments and oud, which are really interesting. His name is Fushimi Minoru. If you want to look him up, check out, search for Fushimi Minoru or Minoru Fushimi Biwa Oud, and you can find him. I don't know how active he is these days, but you can look him up. His ouds are very interesting. I like his vision. Okay, let's see here, and some other questions. These are great questions. Thanks so much, guys, for asking these. So the multi-oud, it can be tuned to Turkish tuning and Arabic tuning. The strings that come on the multi-oud is the fa-fa tuning from F to high F. And so the strings, because of the pickup system, they use a very high tension string set. And so that's what they've used, that's what they've adjusted it. You could put your own strings on there, of course, that's no problem. It's also well suited for Turkish tuning because it's a 58.5 nut to bridge string length. So that's good for Turkish. And then for Arabic, you'll need a thicker string set on there. But unfortunately, because of the way that I don't like the multi-oud for Arabic tuning so much unless you use the high F tuning and you use high string tension, because the straight neck makes the tension feel lower. And the pickup system, the saddle bridge that they use, isn't really an oud-like thing. It's a different feel. It creates a different feel when you play. So I didn't really like it that much when it came to that. I'm not a fan of saddle bridges for oud. I like the traditional tied bridges here. I like the floating bridge too. But I'm not a big fan of saddle bridges. I find the tension suffers a little bit, and it's not ideal. Something about the old-fashioned bridges are just my thing. Okay, let's see here. Another question. Zachariah, would practicing rhythms be good for a beginner like me to get my Risha technique to become second nature? Yeah, rhythms are good. You want to practice patterns. So some patterns that I teach my students, you just create there's some like basically 4 patterns that I show people. that are great for warming up, especially if you're like beginner from 0 to 1 year to 2 years playing to even 3 years playing. Just take any string and just make a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it. Count at the same time as playing, and then do 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down up, or also down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And when you get better at that, then you can also do 16th notes. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a down up, 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 down up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is core technique and core warm-up practicing stuff. You're able to do that on just one open string. That's great. When you then learn a scale, then you can do the same thing over top of a scale. So for example, if you're doing C major or Maqam Ajam on Do, C, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And practice like that. Now, the next thing you would do is a rhythmical pattern, one that we often use, which is just basically 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a down up, down up, down up, down up, 1, the 2 and a 3 and a 4. And so it's basically really slow. Just on your D string, try down up, down up, down up, down up, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. This we use it all the time. It's just so essential. To play any basic Arabic song, you need those patterns. So pattern like that is essential, and when you get it up to speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is really essential stuff. So those are good. Rhythms are good too once you learn it, but it's great to learn it in context of a song. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Another question. Hi, Stephen. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. If you wanted to buy a barbat, where could you get one? You'd probably have to order one from luthier in Iran. There's not that many barbats, or you could buy one secondhand from somebody who already has one in North America, if that's where you live. I don't know where you're located. But likely you'd have to order one from Iran. There's a guy in Amsterdam, I think. No, Denmark, or anyway. He runs an instruments shop called Oriental Instruments, and he often orders really high grade, top of the line barbats from Iran, directly from luthiers, and he sells them. He resells them. OrientalInstruments.com. You can check that out, and that's another place you could get a barbat from. What do you like for rishas? Everything under the sun. Sometimes I like cowhorn risha, which is what I'm using right now. Depends on the style of music I'm playing. If I need softer sound, I use a softer plastic risha like these. Depends if I'm recording or just playing for myself. If I'm playing with a group of people or with another instrument live, then I usually go for the cow horn so I can get more volume. It's a lot better for getting that loud sound. Get a lot of volume out of cow horn risha, and they also really leave the string quickly. So these, I usually use them for performing in live situations because I need more volume, more power. But when I'm recording something, I may go for more lighter risha just so that I can get a more balanced sound and not overpower mics and not get such highs and such lows. So different scenarios call for different things, but I recommend you just collect as many rishas as possible. Just play with whatever and find ones that you like. Make your own as well. Find plastic and just cut them out. Don't be afraid to sand the tips and find the shape that you like as well. I haven't tried wood by itself, but there is a guitar company in Canada who teamed up with a Palestinian oud player, Philip Shaheen. And makes these they're kind of laminate, they're part plastic, part wood, and I think they're laser cut. It's River Song Guitars in Kelowna. I'll put that here. River Song Guitars, they make these oud rishas, and I like them. They're nice. They're very nice. I haven't purchased one in a long time. They're really nice. Somehow they have a nice feel to them. They have a medium tension one and a harder tension one. They're very cool. The Palestinian oud player, Philip Shaheen, he's an engineer as well by trade, and he also makes his own. I think they're carbon fiber rishas, and they're hard to come by. He's not selling them publicly. You have to contact him and get them. But they're also nice. They're kind of in between cow horn and plastic. I like them too, but they're a bit rigid. The one that I have, it's starting to crack in the middle. I think I bent it by accident. So I don't use this one very much because it's a bit harsh, and these Turkish ouds are very sensitive, so they like a lighter touch, I find. But it's also a great risha. Yeah. Let's see, anything else here? All right, a lot of comments. Thanks, guys. Mutasem. What would you recommend for pitch ear training? Singing along like you just did? Yes, absolutely. So the best thing to do is to put on one of your favorite songs in the car when you're driving somewhere, and just put it on repeat, and just try to sing the melody along with it. And but the thing about organized training is that you get associated the name of the maqam with what you're singing. So if we do this ourselves, like I tell you, okay, we're gonna start doing this in maqam bayat, so you know that this sound is associated with the name bayat. Yeah, so this is essentially the way to do it by ear. Now, you're not aiming to know what the note name is. You're looking. What you want to be able to is recognize the ajnas, the jins, the tetrachords and pentachords that make up the different maqams. So you want to be able to hear this. recognize that this is Jins Bayat, as opposed to, for example, Jins Hijaz. And you hear this, la 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 la, and know that that's Jins Hijaz versus Jins whatever else. So that's where you're aiming for and aiming to learn. You're not aiming to learn the pitch names like people who have absolute pitch and they can hear a note and tell you if it's A, B. You're not looking for that. You're looking for relative pitch to be able to tell the difference relatively. I don't know any sheet music for oud violin duets, unfortunately. That's hard to come by. So is it possible to become a high-level oud player with under an hour practice a day? Simon Shaheen's documentary, he said he never believed in long practice and practice 15 minutes a day. That depends. I don't know if that's if he was talking about like when he was a child or not. But there are people who are virtuosi and virtuosos, like in Simon Shaheen's situation. He grew up in a musical family, and so music was around him. Whether he was in his day-to-day life, he was absorbing the music and practicing, whether he liked it or not. This actual practice where you actually train and do something, maybe he didn't do it very long. He had natural talents, or that helped him probably help him get beyond needing to practice that long. So it depends on the individual. I never practiced for long periods of time myself either. I wasn't a very I had days where I did lots of intense practice, really focused on getting somewhere. I think that's how I excelled in or made progress. Was I took time and practiced. Like maybe wasn't consistent day to day, but there were days where I did get good, solid, very efficient practice time. And that's when I saw jumps in my ability. And then, but you do have to some people do need more consistency to get that in those neural pathways ingrained. And so consistent practice is probably more important. Consistency and doing it properly and being focused. Focus is another important thing too. Also, they're finding researchers are also finding that when you visualize things in your brain, it's just as effective as practicing in real life, and it helps solidify those neural pathways. So when you visualize yourself, imagine yourself playing a certain thing that you know how to do. It's definitely going to solidify those neural pathways and be effective. Where to listen to my recordings? You can listen to my recordings anywhere. Thanks for asking about that, Carol. You can just search my name, Navid Goldrick, on Spotify or Apple, iTunes Music. Anywhere you listen to music, where you stream. If you use YouTube primarily, just search Navid Goldrick and then topic, and you should be able to find my music pretty quickly. Yeah. So thanks for asking. I don't have a link handy, so I can't share that, but I could open one. Let's see here. These are all great questions. I'm really happy to get all these questions answered. This is what I like to do the most, because then I don't have to just do what I want to do. I want you guys to get some value out of this and ask questions that you want answers for. So I'm happy to spend all the time that I have. We're going to go for another 10 minutes and answer any questions. But here, I'll put my link to my work on Spotify here. And you can check that out. I am aiming to release at least one single per month. So I would appreciate so much if you do follow my artist profile wherever you stream music. Copy link to our artist I am trying to do that more and more. There it is. Hopefully that takes you to the right place. Yeah, it does. So yeah, please go ahead and follow and subscribe. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. More questions. These are all great questions. Okay. Oybek. I have a question. Is Persian music really easier than Arabic and Turkish music? I just yesterday saw a video where you said that. In that, I think I know which video you're talking about. You're talking about the probably the Radif video that I talked about, the Persian Radif. In some senses, now they're all equally difficult to learn. Learning all of them myself and studying them in different capacities, Arabic music, Turkish music, Persian music. I grew up learning Persian music and I didn't know anything about theory at first. And that was, I was a child, so I didn't really have comprehension of different modes and intervals at that time. I was just, following, just doing what I was told to do when I was studying. The thing that makes it learning Persian music easier is that we use notation a lot, and we're very specific about the ornaments, how to notate ornaments that we use that are standard ornaments. And we have notated all of the core melodies that would be improvised upon. And so these are contained in different radif, in different collections. Radif is a collection of melodies that have been passed down from master to student, and they eventually were notated, and different masters have different versions. But you can actually sit and read these and have a teacher guide you through how to interpret this sheet music. And so it helps you have a reference of what melodies are core essential melodies that make Persian music sound Persian. And so in that way it's easier, whereas in the Arabic and Turkish tradition, it's more like you really have to sit down and spend a lot of time internalizing melodies and listening to your teacher, playing, copying, and collecting recordings that you actually study on your own. Their Taksim is not notated, and that's just, they don't have a tradition of notating in Taksim, so you can't sit and analyze the notation very easily. You learn it more organically. In Persian music, they used to do that a lot too. It used to be from sine bi sine, that means from chest to chest, from the teacher's chest, from the teacher's heart to the student's heart, completely oral. And that tradition is still important in Iran today too, but we also have these things notated so that you can refer to them. They can be solidified for history. So that's why I said it was easier to learn it. It takes a long time if you want to learn Arabic music and you want to learn Arabic Taksim style. It takes a very long time. So that's why it's such a slow process. Same for Turkish music too. They still teach very much by chest to chest, heart to heart kind of teaching style. All right, next question. Thoughts on a 7-course oud? I'm not a big fan of 7-course ouds just because you have to maintain, they have to fit an extra course there, and so it tightens up the spacing between the strings, and it also widens the neck a little bit. So it's if you're used to playing a 6-course, then it's going to be a bit strange to play a wider neck. I really don't like wide necks. They're just kind of strange to me. I like the old school ouds that used to be very narrow, and very narrow necks, like wide and then very narrow at this point here. Turkish ouds, they're kind of these Turkish built ouds. This one is built by Yildirim Palabiyik and Sultan Instruments in Izmir. This one, the neck doesn't get that narrow at the peg box here, so they're a little bit balanced. But the old Arabic ouds that you can still find today, sometimes they go a little bit more narrow, and I really like that for some reason. They're charming. And But yeah, comfort-wise, I'm not a big fan. I don't really need a 7-course oud. It would be nice to have, but not really essential. All right. Question about Arabic ouds. So yeah, that's a full question about Arabic ouds going to be harder journey to master than the shorter Palabiyik ouds. Most Arabic ouds now, if you buy a new Arabic oud, they're going to be maximum 60 centimeters, and from string length, not to bridge, maximum. The shorter ones, yeah, they're going to be easier to play, but when I started oud and I bought my oud, I wanted a 61.5. I didn't really believe in smaller. Now that I'm stuck with these Turkish ouds, and people are not making 61.5 a lot now. You have to really kind of request it if it's a new oud. I prefer the larger size myself. Even though I have small hands, I have pretty, like, I'm not a large person, but I prefer a larger oud. The smaller ouds, you have to get your leg up higher to play them, like especially the bowl size I'm talking about. But the lengthwise is very comfortable. It's very nice, but I prefer to get lost in the dark of the fingerboard and try to find the notes. But some maqams are harder, like playing Persian Daska Charga. It's much easier on a 58.5 centimeter length than a 61.5, because you've really got to stretch that pinky and get that to hit the right note. But right now, for example, you're talking about authentic Arabic sound. It's actually kind of a myth that larger oud is going to make a more Arabic sound. It's not really true. It's what's going on in the engineering of the soundboard that makes it more of an Arabic sound. Because Zeryab is making 58.5 centimeter length ouds. Most of their ouds are that length, and they have the perfect Syrian Arabic sound. It's got nothing to do with the length. It's got to do with the engineering behind the soundboard. So yeah, very good question. Let's see. And barbats are expensive because they're pretty rare. They're probably going to cost you at least $2,000 USD. So this oud is, like I said, made by Yildirim Palabiyik. It's their Sultan Plus model, so it's partially crafted by the other good luthiers that they have that are underneath the master luthier Yildirim Palabiyik. And the soundboard and a lot of the details that come into the sound are made by Yildirim. Fantastic oud. I really like this instrument. It's like my second go-to oud that I have right now here. My oud strings are very close to each other on the neck. Is this normal? Not much space for my fingers. You'll get used to it. I think that's unless they're like, are they evenly spaced? Do they look nice and clean, or are they all like jumbled together and like not evenly spaced? Okay, if they're jumbled and not evenly spaced, then there might be something misdesign with your nut here, and you may need to get that replaced or something. But if they are very narrow, you're probably just getting used to it. It's all subjective. All right, great questions. I'm really happy to see this. Okay, I'm gonna get going in a few minutes. I'm gonna choose a couple questions to answer here. All right. So, this is a good question, Rafael. First thing someone should learn when transitioning from playing by ear to learning music theory. Learn the notes. Learn both systems of note naming: solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, and learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Learn that first. It's very easy to learn how to read music, and that way you can learn music theory a bit easier, because you can think about, you can see what the distance, you can see everything on paper and read something and understand it much better. So first is to, if you've been learning by ear, learn how to read music, basic stuff. Just be able to read, recognize what note is on the sheet paper. That's important. I'm planning to do some questions about sound setup and stuff, microphones and stuff for recording Oud. So I plan to do some videos on that in the future. So hopefully I'll answer some of those questions. That's another big topic. Why I use headphones during recording is because what I've got going on is I've got my digital audio workstation happening. I've got my cell phone recording the video, and then I'm recording all my audio into my digital audio workstation. And so what I'm doing is I've created a drum track which I'm listening to play along with. That's why I have headphones on. Yeah, I'd like to show people how to do that. When you want to start sharing your music online, it's good to learn how to do these things. There are tutorials on how to do that, I'm sure, out there for if you don't play Oud, but for guitar or whatever like that. I'm sure you can find that. Yeah, so Bo, good question. I did learn a little bit through cultural immersion. I grew up in a Iranian family in Canada, and there's a big Iranian community where I grew up, fortunately, so I was immersed in the culture. Iranian music, Persian music was listened to throughout the house all the time, and so I did have that immersion. And so when I went and started to learn Arabic music and Turkish music, because I kind of felt like I know that the Oud is used in other musics, and I wanted to learn the Oud well. So I thought, okay, it'd be a good idea to learn the other music that uses Oud. So and I found that those musics are a little bit better suited for the Oud and for the technique that you use on the Oud. So I started studying those musics as well. But it was really strange, because I really felt like even though these musics are so similar, they're so different. It's just like learning a language. If you learn Farsi and you learn Arabic, the grammar is completely different, and so it feels very different. Even though they share some vocabulary because of cultural exchange, you do find that some things are the same, some things are similar, but so different at the same time. So it was like I got turned off by Arabic music at the very beginning, because I didn't enjoy it. It was so different from what I was used to. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, learn one style first, I suggest. Hi, Oybek. I know, yeah, you've sent me an email. I don't have a solution for you at the moment, but I'll think about it and get back to you. Yeah, unfortunately, I only take payments through PayPal at this time online. Yeah, but if you use a credit card, you should be able to pay via PayPal as a guest without a PayPal account. They do have a credit card processing thing. But I'll think about it and I'll email you about that. Well, thanks so much, guys. I have students coming up, so I'm happy to answer all these questions. Thanks so much for joining. It's been great to have so many people join today. Devin, good question about Persian musicians. I'd love to give you some recommendations. So for oud music, I recommend listening to the work of Hossein Behruziniya. He was my teacher, my oud teacher. I owe a lot to him for getting me to where I am now. Hossein Behruziniya. You just search him online. You'll find his music right away. His music is great because he doesn't mix no other influences other than Persian music into his oud playing. And he also uses the newly created barbat, so it's a bit different, but that's great for oud playing. There's a lot of other good Persian oud players, but I just want to give you a few artists to look into. For general, one of my musical heroes is Hossein Alizadeh, another Hossein. Hossein Alizadeh his music is a whole universe on its own. Another influential one, Parviz Meshkatian. You have plenty, and then of course Mohammad Reza Shajarian. You've got a whole, if you just use these 4 artists, you can cover everything with Persian music. So use that, run away with that, and go nuts. Enjoy that journey. A lot of music to explore there. Mohammad Reza Shajarian is like the encyclopedia of Persian music. So if you listen to all his records, you will encounter all these musicians as well. They've all performed with him, recorded with him. Yeah. So thanks so much, guys, for joining today. I'm really happy to see you guys all here. And yeah, I've got to run. So thanks again, and hope to see you in the next one. I've scheduled YouTube lives once a month, every month until the end of November. So I can't wait to see you guys. Get your questions prepared for next time if I haven't answered them today. If you have something specific or something you want me to go into deeply, send me an email and I'll try to do it for next time. So thanks so much. Nice to see you guys again. Thanks, guys. See you later.